Okay, quick Wednesday morning radar update, a little bit later than usual. So, gap up today, risk on in the sort of 250 in the small caps, the area where we like to do business. Large caps, gap up, just a little bit of a drift now into the zombie hours, but holding, sideways range bound and risk on. Though, yeah, pulling into the top of the range, but that's pretty good action. I'd expect a gap up in the US on that. We've got a little gap showing at the moment. Moving on. I suppose copper outside update yesterday. Let's just quickly go and have a look at where is it? Metals and mining's a good one to sort of look at the volume coming into metals and mining. A little shake of the tree there, a couple of distribution days. Some might say professionals taking charge of retail stock there. There's a lot of talk of a commodity bull cycle. I wouldn't expect it in a straight line, but we haven't seen one in a long time. So moving on, looks good. JLP doing okay today as well. So talking my own book there. Obviously TLT, a little bit of a bounce off the lows, and let's just go and have a look at dollar bull. We're still in that sort of. It actually held the lows on the last sort of lower high. Do you remember this one here? Moved up into that zone, moved lower, moved back into the zone, and then broke down. Moved up into the zone, moved lower, moved back into the zone. Answers on a postcard. Just because it happened here doesn't mean it will do the same thing. But I can promise you that falling trends, bearish trends will make low highs and low lows. So, until that changes on a meaningful time frame, I will add, don't go looking at daily reversals for primary trend, turns. It just doesn't work like that. And on that note, I know a lot of people, when you look at gold, a lot of people are saying, the trend is down in gold. No, the primary trend is still up in gold. It's, over what time frame do you think you should judge the trend? Yeah, it's teetering on the edge, but we're down under the 10-month, and the 10-month is a pretty good barometer, isn't it? It's like the 200-day, but when it comes to primary trends, I'll go with this green one all day long, the voodoo average. Moving on. Trends. Think of moving averages is just look back period. Are they rising? Are they falling? Very simple. Have a look at the share scope article I did for that. So let's just jump into the small caps. There should be quite a lot on volume here. I will note no gold stocks hitting the screen still, but it is in an area where you might start to see a few. We did see one last week, didn't we? It's 11.49. We should have traded 45% to be on average volume. About 67 to be on conviction. We've got 69 in the screen in the small caps today on volume. I'm going to just buzz through these in order of sector. I can see mining minnows are on volume. There's a few travel and leisure ones in there again, and there's a few oilers in there actually today, which we haven't seen in a week or so, and a few financials. But let's just buzz through these and see what's in today. And let me just change my chart back to a daily. SCE automobiles. It's a lose more scenario on that one. And the forward numbers, this is a lose less, loss making. This is a lose more. got no forward on that one. Solid state, steady numbers, you know, steady kind of mature growth stock status, I think that one. This is a tick down in the forward numbers and pre-tax, and this is a tick up. It's a financial though. Let's just buzz through these and see what else is in there. Food and drug, Coles. Healthcare. Know nothing about this one. That's in an interesting zone if it was what I traded towards. It's not, but I've got 0 on the forward numbers on that one. European Metals Holding, breaking out of a base there. Obviously this was the stage 1. 450%, fantastic. Return to pre-tax profit on that one. Tick down in turnover. Critical metals. IPO breakout, first retrace, second retrace, off to the moon. Fantastic. A little retrace area on that one as well. I know nothing about it. South 32 continues. Teresa continues. TGR graphite. It's traded above that level now, and it's actually not pulled back much, has it? So that's you know, do your own research on that. I've got no forward numbers, know nothing about it. Wishbone Gold, Yellow Cake, Echo Energy, an interesting zone as well, not what I trade towards. I'll trade anything, but I try and load the account into growth stocks. Lose more, no forward numbers. BKS. So I have a position in BKS. I think I talked about this one yesterday. Forgive me if I did, but I'm looking at it as a bigger base with it, you know, a nice little cheat there in the right side, and it's sorting itself out. You know, when you see the longer term averages stacked, I mean, it's that same old thing. You know, don't just because there's a 50-day and a 20-day rising, do not think you're going to get a primary trend out of it. You know, you could be chopping up and down forever, but when the primary trend sorts itself out, that's where you can get good sustained moves. Not saying every stock will do that, but you know, that's just, I actually want it to just grind it into mean trend again, and then I would add to it above here then. If it goes straight up, you know, I will add to it in the future. I'd add to it there then, but yeah, thin numbers, but good numbers in my view. Crystal ball's in for servicing, so don't hold it against me. Return to growth, Zoo Digital. Return to profit, return to growth. These are a bit boring, these ones. Let's get through them. Gaming Realms. You know, out of all the gambling ones out there, this one's kind of been just, well, it's a cheaper one, so it gets a little bit more attention, but the swings on the bigger ones have been more productive, though I do see that this is expected to be a return to growth. It's far from being on a par with the others in the gambling sector, but if it returns to growth and then it's got some decent forward numbers moving on from that, yeah, maybe. I can just punch it in, GMR. It's not exactly lighting the screen up, but in a market where we've got some fantastic stocks, yeah, I see it. I see it, and I do see a base building on it. It's one of those gambling, the sector I hate to have to do business in, like banking and stuff like that. In fact, that's why I'm late today, because I've been on the phone to the bank all morning, trying to sort some change some things on. I've got the wrong address on one of my cards, and they sent me 3 different credit cards all at the same time, and I couldn't work out which was which. So, to cut a long story short, not a sector what you'd want to be over the board loaded in, because anything can hit this sector at any time. But it's been going well for so long now. It's this one's a bit of a laggard in the sector, really, but in percent terms it's done some pretty good moves, but it's done a lot of sideways, hasn't it? I see the base though, I do see it. I'm kind of giving it a bit more time than it deserves. So I will leave that there. I'm not going to look at the large caps today, just through being so late. And we'll see how the day progresses. I've got to get the US screens loaded, and I'll try and get that done in the next hour. Okay.